Do you think going forward, the Democratic Party should lean further into the big tent politics that they've been pursuing so far, or do you think they need to refocus on what they stand for and what their base is?
I think there's two strategies that really do need to be confronted. I mean, um, or probably three. One is to really identify what they stand for. Two is to understand why their playbook is failing. Why they are not reaching. Why they're not reaching sort of the sort of working class Americans. Why that group of people? How do you build a bridge to that? One perfect example for me is the whole discussion around the Green New Deal. As someone, who's lucky enough to have a really great education, to live in a fantastic city, and to feel, comfortable in my employment, I hear about the Green New Deal, and I think that's a fantastic idea. I'm not working in a vulnerable industry, in an extractive industry that's threatened by words like that. I'm no one's, that there was this discussion around, a few years ago about, we need to retrain miners and offer them all sorts of training. And, what sort of training do you offer someone who's been working in those environments for 20 or 30 years? So reaching out to that is, I think reaching out to those folk is really, really important. So there are two different strategies that you need to employ simultaneously. To understand what you stand for, how to bring people into the tent of what you stand for. And the third thing is, and this will be the big challenge at this point, is that the Democrats have spent the last 4 years trying to bring down Donald Trump. That's been their big focus. And I think it's been a focus, and I understand, there was concerns around the Mueller investigation, other investigations, but that was done at the expense of coming up with those previous two strategies. So, I don't know if the Democrats have got the stomach for this, but, the question is, how do you reach in across the aisle and understand that, if you want to prepare an alternative strategy, you've got to be seen as being an alternative government, and just relying on one person's mistakes as a way to do that is not portraying that. And so, there is some deep discord between the Democrats and the Republicans, and someone needs to build that bridge. Now, in saying all this, at the time of this discussion, there was a good chance that Arizona was going to go to Biden and Nebraska, and that would give him the 270 votes. And who knows, we could be talking about President Biden. But in saying that, it doesn't matter who the president is. There needs to be a healing of wounds of the American public, and I just, I see both major parties resistant to that process.
As it stands, and this is changing minute to minute, but Nevada and Pennsylvania are still very much in play. Georgia and North Carolina are as well, although they're leaning red, and Arizona is still up for grabs, but it's leaning slightly blue, as you mentioned. Trump needs probably 4 out of the 5 states I just mentioned to win 270 electoral seats and the presidency. At the risk of getting egg on your face, what are your predictions?
Well, look, yeah, of course, right. Thanks for that, Alex. I really appreciate you putting me on the spot here. Look, over the last few days, I've said that I thought Biden was going to sneak in on a very, very close call. I still feel that he's going to get Nebraska and Arizona, but it's a split call, right? It's going to be a very, very close call. So I think if it goes the other way and the Trump wins those, one of those states and he gets in, I wouldn't be surprised either. But I think that's where it stands at the moment. And I would, if I was a betting man, and if I had a betting man and I could afford the bet, I wouldn't probably put more than $5 on it, but I would probably put my money on Biden. But it's very, very close to the wire, which again is not surprising and does capture that level of that division in the country that I think needs to be addressed.
Absolutely. Professor Arvanitakis, thanks so much for your time again.
My pleasure. Thank you.